Today's lesson is formulas for tables. It is the final lesson of our algebra unit. So let's get started. Here's a t-chart with our variables in it. And it says here rules start at 3 and then add 2. So you do the plus 2 here, plus 2, plus 2. How are these rules different? Well, I want you to look at this as it's created now. We're creating a formula. So whatever the addition is now you're multiplying. So you multiply the term number by 2. So as you can see here, it says multiply it by 2. So 1 times 2 equals 2. And then how do you get from 2 to 3? Well, you need to add 1. So we'll do some more examples in this video. So find the pattern rule for the sequence. I'm not going to do all of them, so I'm going to start with A over here. So let's do a table. So we have 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, and here are the term numbers. And what you need to do is you need to find the gap. As you can see, the gap is going up by 4, plus 4 each time. So for this here, you have to take the term number, multiply it by 4. So for the first one, 1 times 4 equals 4. And how do you get from 4 to 0? Well, you have to subtract 4. So our formula would be term number times 4 minus 1. Or if we're going to do it algebra style or algebraic, this is how you have to write it. 4x minus 4. Okay, we're going to do another example here. I know this may be tricky. Well, it is because this is the first time you're exposed to something like this. Let's look at B. Create your xy. And all the numbers here are your y's. 13, 11, 9, 7, 5. And here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now you have to find the gap. The gap here is minus 2. So now let's see if this will work with subtraction. So if we take term number, multiply that by 2. So 1 times 2 equals 2. And how do we get to 13? Well, we have to add 11. This is not going to work with subtraction. So what you have to do is just find the pattern. And in this case, it's just minus 2. So some of them will be really easy to figure out. Some of them will be hard. But there is a pattern here of what's going to be hard. So just please be patient. So for C, you have your xy. 8, 11, 14, 17, 20. And term number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now let's find the gap. The gap here is plus 3. So we have to multiply it times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. And how do you get to 5? Yeah, how do you get to 8? You have to add 5. So term number times 3 plus 5. Or you can write it like 3x plus 5. If we were to do the subtraction one again, D, let's see what happens with D. You're subtracting 1 each time. So you're subtracting 1. For subtraction, this trick doesn't work. It only works for addition. Let's go on to the next slide. So let's learn how to write a general rule. So the output here is 7, 10, 13, 16. So this is basically an xy, but they added this in the middle. I'll show you what it is soon. What you have to find now is the gap. What is the gap? The gap here is plus 3. The numbers are increasing by 3. So you have to do input times the gap. So 1 times 3, that equals 3. And how do you get from 3 to 7? You have to add 4. So if you did 2 times 3 equals 6, plus 4 is 10. 3 times 3 equals 9, plus 4 is 13. 4 times 3 equals 12, plus 4 equals 16. Multiply the input by 3, then you add 4. So the other way to do it with algebra is you can do 3n plus 4. You can do 3x plus 4. You can do 3k plus 4. It doesn't matter which letter you choose. So let's do some more examples here. So we have the input, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the output is 5, 9, 13, 17. And let's find the gap. So I strongly encourage that you use the bubble method that I've always been using. As you can see, the gap is 4. The pattern is increasing by 4. So 1 times 4 equals 4. And how do you get from 4 to 5? You add 1. 2 times 4 equals 8. Plus 1 is 9. So this is going to work. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. So I recommend that you do this at least 3 times. So input times 4 plus 1. And the formula could be written like this. Or 4n plus 1. Let's try another one here. Input 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 19, 26, and 33. The gap is going up by 7. So you have to multiply 1 times 7 equals 7. And to get from 7 to 12, you must add 5. 2 times 7, 14 plus 5 is 19. 3 times 7 is 21, plus 5 is 26. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 5 is 33. So it would be input times 7 plus 5. The formula, n times 7 plus 5, or 7n plus 5. Slide here, make a table. Let's do this. So we're going to make the table. So it's going to be x, y. So the x is this one right here. 1, 2, 3. The y is how many blocks there are. 1, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now what we're going to do is find the gap. Plus 3 is the gap. So now you have to do input times 3. So 1 times 3 equals 3. Now for the first one here, how do we get from 3 to 1? Well, to do that, you need to subtract 2. So our pattern rule would be input times 3 minus 2, or n times 3 minus 2, or 3n minus 2. And this will work for all of them. So let's try it for this one. 2 times 3 equals 6 minus 2 is 4. 3 times 3 equals 9 minus 2 equals 7. So the gap is basically what you're multiplying by. I know this was a tough video. Thank you for stopping by. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.